The sea was calm when the torpedo struck. A sudden jolt, a plume of white spray, then silence, followed by chaos. The RMS Lusitania, once the fastest and most luxurious ship afloat, shuddered as steel tore through her hull. She had been gliding along the Irish coast, her journey nearly over. But at 2:10 p.m. on May 7, 1915, everything changed in the space of a heartbeat. Passengers stared in stunned disbelief. Some thought it was an explosion from below deck. Others saw the white trail of the torpedo and understood instantly they had been attacked. Within seconds, the ship began to list. Water poured in through a jagged hole near the starboard bow. The liner groaned, tilting hard to one side as lifeboats snapped, ropes tangled, and panic took hold. The Lusitania had left New York City just 6 days earlier. She carried nearly 2,000 people, wealthy travelers, immigrants, mothers with infants. It was wartime, but the ship was British and civilian, and many assumed she was too fast to be caught. But just off the coast of southern Ireland, the German U-boat U-20 had been waiting. Commanded by Walter Schwieger, the submarine had already sunk several ships that week. When the Lusitania entered his sights, he fired a single torpedo. He never expected what would follow. The blast ignited a second, massive explosion deep within the liner. It wasn't just the torpedo, it was something inside the ship. Ammunition? Coal dust? Fuel tanks? No one could say for certain, but the result was catastrophic. The Lusitania began to sink. Fast. There was no time for order. The ship had only 18 minutes before she would vanish beneath the waves. Crew members struggled to lower lifeboats, many of which had been damaged in the blast. Some lifeboats overturned, spilling screaming passengers into the sea. Others plummeted down crooked angles of the deck, crashing into the water below. Women clutched their children. Elderly men stumbled and fell. Life jackets were torn from trembling hands. The decks were a blur of running feet and final prayers. On the bridge, Captain William Turner gave the order to abandon ship. He stayed at his post until water closed over the helm. The Lusitania slipped beneath the surface at 2:28 p.m. Hundreds were still aboard. The sea boiled with oil, debris, and bodies. Survivors clung to wreckage. Many died of exposure. Others drowned before help could arrive. Of the 1,962 souls aboard, 1,198 were lost, including 128 Americans. The attack stunned the world. Germany claimed the ship had been carrying weapons, a legitimate target. Britain denied it. The truth, buried in government documents and secret cargo manifests, would remain murky for decades. What mattered most was perception. The sinking of the Lusitania turned global opinion. In the United States, which had remained neutral during the first year of World War I, outrage exploded across newspapers. The death of innocent civilians, including women and children, was unthinkable. It did not bring America into the war immediately, but it moved the needle. And when the U.S. finally joined the Allies 2 years later, the ghost of the Lusitania lingered. In Germany, Commander Schwieger was celebrated by some and condemned by others. He would die in 1917 when his U-boat struck a British mine. His death went unnoticed by most, but the ship he sank, Lusitania, became legend. Today, she rests on the seafloor off the coast of Ireland, her hull cracked and corroded, cloaked in silt and silence. The Atlantic holds her secrets still. Thank you for listening to Last Post History. Subscribe for more true stories from the world at war.